because I promised somebody that I was going to share this. So I hope everybody's doing well. I'm going to share this screen. Somebody asked me or told me that they hadn't seen it. So I decided to go ahead and bring it up and make a couple of comments here and there and see if we are all seeing the same thing together. So this is the Canton PD, the police department, right? When Higgins showed up. We're going to go from the beginning. I have two versions of this, and one is about 12 minutes and 48 seconds, and the other one is shy of 18. Doesn't have any sound. So it's going to be a little bit boring. I can always do this. Okay, so I'm going to go back a minute. So at 1:30 in the morning, he comes in. You see it? You see him? And he's parking next to his Denali, which is next to him. See that person in there? Do you see that white hoodie sort of reflection of a person in there? He's getting out of the car. Look, he's right there. He's right there. And the light is still on inside the Jeep, and it was showing somebody in there. I remember when this came out. See, the door is open. I am hoping you can hear me, okay? Let me do this for 1 second. Hold on, you guys. Let me see. And let me go right here. Okay, that could be better. I want to try it out and see if I can hear me, because the last time you guys couldn't. So let me see what's going on. Yeah, you guys can hear. Okay, perfect. So I'm gonna go back a minute. We're gonna go back to the original video. And right here, when he pulls up, he's getting out of the car. He's opening the door. Do you see that person in there? There's somebody inside that car. Now, he gets out. You're gonna see his silhouette. It's a little bit difficult because it was snowing, right? But you can see him get out, and then he stops. He's gonna stop. He's gonna turn around, almost like somebody hollered at him. And he pretends that he's on his phone. But to me, he's talking to somebody who is inside that Jeep. So he continues to walk, turns around, continues to work. A lot of people say, well, that's not Brian Higgins. That's not Brian Higgins. It looks like Brian Albert. Unfortunately, Higgins has sort of like an injury to his left leg. So he throws his leg to the side when he walks. You see him like he kind of like, yeah, that's not Brian Albert. I have the entire Boston Finest season, and that's not how Brian Albert walks. So that's Higgins going into the comm center. Okay, and he spends a few minutes in there, and then he's seen come out. There we go. Goes to the opposite direction, which somebody tried to explain at one point where was it that he was heading when he went that way. And then you see his knee. See how he throw his knee to the left leg to the side, and he keeps walking out. Somebody's right there. That's a person right there to me. Looks like, right? But he's on his phone. So I have a feeling that these cameras, he's on his phone, are motion triggered. So he comes back and supposedly he's moving cars. So right now there's a Ford Edge. There he is back in the picture. There's a Wrangler. That's the Dodge Ram that he traveled from New York from with, right? And brought Kevin Albert, Eddie Hernandez, and Brian Albert with him. And this is his Denali that is parked next to him. So I know it's difficult to see, but he's checking on the Denali. At some point, the lights, the front lights, the headlights of the Denali are going to come up. And you're going to see. But there's a car right here that he's moving. Do you see it in the back here? Like right behind. You see this car? And he's getting sort of like into a car. I don't know if you see the lights. Now there's lights on this car. It's a sedan. Now at some point I saw somebody around here. Let's see. Yep, there it is. Hold on. And somebody else is there. You see it? Doesn't look like he's in the car. It looks like he's talking to somebody in that car. In the far corner. Which if you continue to go that way, you can sort of like sway to the left and continue on and get out of Canton PD. But he's right here. You can see him talking. And then he comes back in the picture through the back of the truck. Wait, I'm going to show you. Slow down snowing for a minute. It's the wind too, so. There, the car goes. You see it? And then you see Whiskey sit down. Oh, good. It's less windy now. And then you're going to see him come back into the picture in a second. I think this Ford Explorer is the surveillance vehicle that he never described in his testimony during trial. That's what I think that is. Because for some reason he has all his cars like parked one next to each other. I can't place with her. Okay. I'm gonna put it a little bit quicker and see. I can speed it up to the point that he shows up. So there's you see that person walking over there, and then here's Higgins. So let's slow it down. So on the other side, now I want to rewind it almost. He's coming back here. He goes to the Denali first, and he turns on the lights. Unless he doesn't want us to see, right? Because the reflection of the light. But why is he there? He's like he's talking to somebody, but I don't see anybody on the other side of the Jeep. And it looks almost like, there we go. And there he is on this side of the Jeep. He opens it up, and you see that person moving inside his Jeep. That's not him. He closes the door. He gets out. The dome light stays on, and you still can see somebody in there. And then he comes on this side. He doesn't, yeah, he opens the door, but it looks like he remote started the lights on the Denali. And what he wants is to have some light, right? Because now he's gonna go into the Dodge Ram. Watch. There he is. There he is. See? He opens the front door, closes the front door. It's about to close the front door. Closes it. Goes back to the Wrangler. There's a person there. You see it? With a hoodie, sort of. Closes the door. Comes back to the Ram. He looks at the toolbox in the back of the Ram. It's right here. I know it's difficult to see. And this is available in YouTube if somebody wants to give it a shot and see if they can enhance it in their computer also. At some point, he's going to open up the back door. There. Nope. There's the bag. You see that bag that he's taking with him? Now, of course, he was on a trip to New York, right? So he claims that he was in a trip in a funeral. And we talked about it yesterday, I think it was, that in trial, he said he was at the funeral of 2 police officers. And there were 2 police officers that were shot at responding to a call, but the funeral was only to one of them. The other one didn't die until 5 days later, and his funeral was the 2nd of February, which coincidentally was the same day that Karen got indicted. There he is, and the dome light is on, and you can see almost like there's somebody inside that Jeep. Now he turns on the lights on the Jeep. The Denali's lights are off because he wants to see, right? So we go back to the Dodge Ram, and he's looking for something. The lights are on, and it almost looks like he's looking for something. But if he's looking to the back, why don't you open the door to the back? There we go. There he is. And he's looking for something, and get something out of there. Okay. He goes away. The lights of the Jeep are are on. So if anybody was to get out of the Jeep or whatever, we would not be able to see it. He knows what he's doing because the lights of the Jeep are blocking any visibility from the Kenton library camera. He knows exactly what he's doing. See? You see that person in there? Dome lights are on. Still on. Last 2 times it turned off really quickly. Maybe they're looking at something in there, or somebody's looking at something in there. So now we're going to see. Wait, I think it's about to come over. Yeah. Right there. There he is, back in the picture. The back of the Jeep. Around the Jeep. Gets in the Jeep. Puts something in the Jeep. The dome lights are still on this time. And there he's over there. Somebody's running on that side. Do you see it? Wait. We're gonna see. Okay, while he's over here in the Jeep, look at this person running on the back. Look, 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 look. Did you see? That's so weird, man. And then now, like every video that has been produced regarding this, we don't know whether this thing was cut off or not. So he continues to go in his two-door white Wrangler with a plow. Now we're gonna stop this one and we're gonna go back to what we were doing. And now I'm gonna show you this one. And this one is thanks to Video Jesus because I bugged the heck out of her. And I asked her so many times on X, can you please, can you please, can you please enhance it? Because I was sure that I kept seeing somebody. Has no new. That's Higgins. That's not Brian Albert. We speed it up because we want to get back to out. This is right. Comes back out. He's throwing his leg to the side. So we walk. Here we go. On his phone calls. This is between 1:30 and 1:36, 1:38 in the morning. So he just left Brian Albert's house, comes back in his two-door white Wrangler with a plow, parks it next to his alley. This is his Dodge Ram, and this is the Ford Edge, also a surveillance. Goes in between the two. It's coming back. See him? Don't be disappointed if you see. I have no idea. I can't count the many times that I have watched this over and over and over. This is coming back. The combination of snow and difficult because, what the camera is showing us is almost like impossible to see. But there's that car. There's that car with the backlights on. He's outside talking to whoever is on that car. The car is about to take off, and he comes back. Watch. So who was he talking to in that car? Where is he about to do? You see that car over there in the corner? Now you see it. Now you don't because it went that way. See, that's the same way that he came, the same way that car left. So here's Higgins coming back. Here we go. See the next car left. Driver's seat. And Spiky went going up the Jeep into the mountain. See him? I don't know what he's doing. This is just standing there. It's gonna remote start or turn on the lights with the alley. Listen, open the back door of the mountain. There's the Jeep Wrangler. He opens the door here, and there's somebody inside the Jeep. It's actually moving. See? The lights are on the Denali. Some lights of the Jeeps are off. Lights back off. Coming back around. Lights of the Denali are back on. It's like, what was the purpose of that? Was he trying to help the Jeep? Allow somebody to he gives the car to drive out of 3430. I mean, he was calling everybody and their mother and couldn't get a ride out of there. And this is around the same time that Ali Mateen shows up and he supposedly gets out, trying to help the couple. They're sitting on the other side, comes up the side, opens the front door, the side door of the Dodge Ram, looking for something. Looks like he gets out of there with a duffel bag of some sort. Goes up, closes the door, walks back to the Jeep. I see what it is. Yep, somebody left. It's out. Now we're going to the back door, to the toolbox. Get something out. We're gonna see him walk. Come on, Higgy. It's about to open the door. Silhouette. That silhouette moves. There's Higgy, right? There's somebody else. The door gets closed. Walks more on the back of the Wrangler. Closes the door. In this one, we don't see this person. Remember on the other one, the person is seen like walking or almost like running or jogging in that corner. I haven't seen it yet. Door closes. The lights of the Wrangler are up. But okay, wait. This guy, the shadow. Come on, he's coming this way. This shadow. Hmm. Goes back to the truck. The lights of the Denali are off, but the lights of the Wrangler are on. The lights inside the Dodge Ram are out. Inside the opposite direction. He's coming up. See the door? That person moving inside the Wrangler. After he went close, he goes. Yeah. I'm gonna link. Yeah, thank you, Be Jesus, for doing that. That was such a pain. I'm sorry. I'm going to go ahead and link both of the what do you call those? Both of the links to those videos on the description of the show, of this show. So if anybody wants them, you can go ahead and grab them from there and go give a like to Video Jesus. And you know, that was actually cool that she was able to do that because it highlights all of the cars, it distinguishes one from another, and it gives you a clear path from where he is transitioning from one car to the other rather than just looking at snow and wind. Oh my gosh, you guys, I hadn't even noticed that you guys were here. Hello. Hello. How are you guys doing? The bag, I really believe, and I don't know if I told you, but I did purchase a Faraday bag, and I have been for a good 2 3 months. I have been playing with it because some of the models back in the day, like back in those days, they were not as modern as the last ones. And recently, I posted a picture on X of one of the last models of a Faraday bag. There are some that have some sort of the top part of it allows you to see what's in it without taking the phone out, and you can still put your hands in and sort of try to maneuver or look at whatever it is. The whole purpose of the Faraday bag is to stop contamination of the actual inside of the phone, right? And also the frequencies, the exposure to the cell phone towers. Everything else, it's almost like, how do I say it? It's almost like when the 20 seconds that that phone traveled from 12:31:56 to 12:32:16 was merely 20 seconds. In those 20 seconds, that phone had to be turned off and put in airplane mode because it is not yet on a Faraday bag. If it was, then the location wouldn't have been an issue, right? There wouldn't have nobody would have needed to get a Faraday bag to put the phone in it if that phone was going to stay in the same location where it was brought outside from 12:31 to 12:32. If the phone was going to stay at 34 Fairview, that phone, there's no need to put it in any Faraday bag. The only reason to put it on a Faraday bag is because they were planning on taking it to a different location. Now, I don't know, you know how everybody's talking about the 911 call that was enhanced and this and that. That call came out right after trial one. I don't know if you guys remember. What is interesting about this call is that it has those few extra minutes, but there's another call after that 911 call that was recorded on Joan's phone. And that's when Jen says someone is coming out to help. The interesting part of the call that is being shared also, and I'm going to try to see if I can pull it, is that the person who picks up the phone, and I'm trying to identify it because I hear and I can tell almost like that is Sergeant Good, right? But then it doesn't sound like Sergeant Good. So I'm going like, who is this person? Like it sounds like him, but it doesn't sound like him. Now, if you also notice, there were three people who picked up that call. So she first calls and somebody else picks it up, right? And she says, I don't know why he did that. Yeah, he does that because of the cell towers. That's the explanation that she gives to the first person because all she wants is to be transferred to Canton PD, right? So then the person that originally picked up the phone, and I'm trying to bring it up, transfer her to Canton PD, and then they say, Canton PD 911, 911, this is Canton PD, how can I help you? What's your emergency, right? And then she says, again, yes, there's a man in the snow. There's a guy laying in the snow. First she says there's a man, then she says there's a guy. And then after all of that, then um then she says, "Oh, okay. So where at 34 Fairview? Where are 34? Yes, the Alberts residence, the Alberts residence, and whatever, right?" And then after that, um, there's another operator that picks up the phone and says the same thing. Um, oh, what was it? And that's when she said, like, "Well, did he bang up his phone? Well, did he? Did is this? There's something in the head, right? Right." But the windshield wipers portion of it on the call that Karen recorded, because Karen left her phone in the back of Carrie's Ford Explorer, kept recording after Jen hung up. Two things that are important here. And I'm trying to get that call because that call is all over the place. Let me see if I can find somebody who shared it so I can bring it up. 911 call, Jen McCabe. There we go. So first she says a couple of hours. He's been out for a couple of hours. I don't know. They were drinking, but I mean, I don't know. I don't know. That was like 4 hours ago that they were drinking. That's what she's referring to, right? And then, and she also says, we flip him over. Well, was he face down? The person asked, almost like leading her, like, another lolly, like helping her out. And then, oh yeah, let me see if this court TV thing that I just found works. It's not going to be the same enhancement, right? But hold on, let's see. I'm trying to get to the 911 call and see. It was him. Trying to get to the 911 call, but I can't find it. Um, so the third time that she speaks to an operator, and that's the one that I think is Sergeant Good, she says, she said that he had been out first for a couple of hours, and then she says, I don't know how long he's been here. So I've had this theory, right? Because by the time that Jen McCabe and Matt McCabe and Juliana Nagel and Sarah Levinson left 34 Fairview, I think, and that was around 1:47 in the morning, if my calculations are right. um I think they had some sort of a plan, right? Like, what are we gonna do, when are we gonna do it? I mean, I think they had a plan. So when they left, the plan was that, and Karen had left, don't forget that. So at this point, the blame on Karen didn't happen until later. I think that their plan was to, around 2:30 or so, bring him outside. But Lucky Logren messed up all of that because he kept plowing. He kept going back and forth and plowing 34 Fairview up to the last time that he attempted to do that was around 3:45 in the morning. So they couldn't finish putting John outside at that time. I also have a theory that they washed their clothes because their clothes were found like totally wet and not like damp because he had been in the snow. No, like they were wet. I have a feeling that they tried to wash his pants and try to wash his whatever to try to remove any fingerprints or anything, right? Any DNA. And even if they did say in trial that there were three other male non-identified DNA found on his pants, on his shirts, and whatnot. I can't remember exactly what they said. But my point with all this is that there was there was an attempt, and the initial thought was to put him out closer to 2:30. And I know that because when Jen got to her house, and Lana also corroborates this, Jen was wearing her Apple Watch. The phone stayed downstairs and Jen went upstairs. Well, I found something else that is very interesting and I'm going to post it. I'm going to post it on X. I'm not sure or if I can do a quick video on it. But at 2:30, um let's start at 2:22. At 2:20 in the morning, Brian Higgins and Brian Albert were both butt calling each other, right? At 2:12 was when Jen Matt got home after they dropped off the girls, right? At 2:23 was when Jen opened the phone, her phone. I'm not saying her, but on her phone, which stayed downstairs, opened the tab and started searching for the house long to die in the cold at that time. Right after 2:23 open tab, there wasn't a screenshot that was taken. So logically, I'm thinking the screenshot that she took after she opened the 223 tab was to capture an image of the results of House Long to Die in the Cold. So if she captured an image of that result, she already knew how long did it take to die in the cold, right? So what is even worse is her phone records her data, right? That not only did she take a, oh my god, you guys, I'm sorry, I'm not ignoring you. Not only did she take a, what do you call it? A screenshot of it, she knew the answer of that question and she sent it to two text numbers, okay? And I mean to two cell phone numbers. And those cell phone numbers, after she sent them to them, then she went ahead and deleted the text that she sent, deleted the screenshot that she took of whatever result she got, right? And after she did all that, she set an alarm. She set an alarm. I can tell that she set an alarm because if you, okay, so I'm gonna put it in paper so I can. At 2:30, she concluded doing the search, the screenshot, the deletion, and whatever. At 2:27, prior to the 2:30, 2:27, that's when the deletion of that search started, right? But it was at 2:23 that she opened that tab. It's the only thing that makes sense because there's a 23 open Safari search on her phone at 2:23 in the morning. And she made a mistake on testimony. And when Alan Jackson was using a very well-known CIA tactic of sort of like confronting a witness with something that is wrong to make the witness sort of like feel powerful, feeding their ego, correcting Alan Jackson. She said herself, I didn't make that search at 2:23 in the morning. I never would. I don't know if you remember that. But that was on trial too, on cross-examination. She told herself that it wasn't at 2:23 in the morning. She never made that search at 2:23 in the morning. So the search started at 2:23. And between 2:23 and 2:27, she already knew how long did it take to die in the cold. She screenshotted those results. She sent those results to two different text cell phone numbers by text. She went back, okay? Went back, deleted the screenshot, deleted the text, and at 2:27, she's attempting to delete the search that she started at 2:23. So at 2:30, there is an event on her phone that it starts at 2:31. And then there's nothing on her watch until 3:56 and I think 44 seconds. Now, I want you all to do this as a little homework. If anybody has an Apple Watch, I want you to put an alert. Say, hey, Siri, can you set an alert for 90 minutes from now? And they're going to do it, right? The phone is going to do it, and it's going to send an alert for you. That what happens is that the alert goes off. It doesn't go off right on the time that you set it off. It goes off a few minutes earlier, right? To give you a heads up. And typically, between the time that you snooze it to the time that you stop it, if you didn't stop it the next time after you snoozed it, you're gonna snooze it again, right? But if it goes off and you snooze an alert, and the next time that it goes off, you cancel it or you stop it, there's exactly less than a minute. Less than a minute. It's exactly 58 seconds from the first time that you snooze it until the second time. And those events are registered on Jen's Apple Watch. So, blew up there. Wait. What? James said, I'm no longer with us 4 times. Yeah, he's no longer with us. No, I think he's dead. No, he's already dead. I actually did. Let me see if I can bring it up on this end. I wish I could marry these two things so I don't have to be acting like crazy here, moving from one to another. But I started to do the transcripts of that call because I used to do that for, well, wiretaps. But Carrie, and then the next part that comes is on you can distinguish what it is, right? And then she goes, Carrie, and then you hear a phone buzzing like zzz, 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 zzz. And then you hear the windshield wipers, but she shuts a door down. A door shuts. And then you keep listening to the windshield wipers. And then, you hear the women screaming outside. And then Carrie. But at 26 and 18 seconds of that call started, the first thing you hear is 911, what's your emergency? Yes, I need someone to come to 34. And she starts saying country, like Country Lane, which is her address. 222 bot dials, 223. Exactly. Jane watch, one flight stairs, 223, 231, Jane phones. Now, if you have her call logs, look at what happens between 231 and 344 or so. There's nothing. Or 356, I think it is. I don't have it in front of me. But there's nothing on her watch from 231 to, I want to say it was 3, which if you add it up, it's exactly 90 minutes. She was up before 4 o'clock in the morning because she knew that the 90 minutes of how long to die in the cold were going to expire from 2:30, which is the time that they originally agreed, right? How little did she know that they were not going to be able to put him out there by the flagpole by 2:30? She found that out later. When later? Well, Kaylee called at 4:53 in the morning. And that's when she handed Karen the phone and they started talking. the first call that Jen McCabe makes right after Karen called, and she doesn't tell Karen, I'll be right there. Nah, She doesn't tell Karen that. She tells Karen, come and get me. But the first call that she makes before anything is to Julie Albert, because Julie was the designated donut bringer, John finder, right? That's the first call she makes because she has to stop her. She's got to stop her from going. Now, Karen called. Karen is looking for John. What are we going to do? And that's when they probably changed their plans from plow driver to the patsy. It's the only thing that logically makes sense. Now, when I go back and I look at, what do you call it? I'm going to show you. I'm going to put this so it runs by itself. But she says, yes, I need someone to come to 34 and she stops. She almost said Country Lane. It's not Canton. It's Country Lane because 12 Country Lane is her address. And then she goes, 34 Fairview Road in Canton, Mass. There's a man passed out in the snow. All right, in Canton, hold up. I'm going to transfer you to Canton Police, okay? And then it becomes, you can't understand it, connecting you, okay? Oh, yeah. I don't know why he did that. Yeah, it's the towers. Hold on and stay on the line. And then there's another part that you can't understand. I think he's dead. You got to get here, right? Okay, stay in the line. I know. Where are the blankets, Carrie? Where are the blankets? I don't see the blankets, Carrie. And then the second officer comes back on the phone and says, Canton PD 911, what's your emergency? And then they go, oh, yes, I need someone to come immediately to 34 Fairview Road, Canton, Mass. Well, what's going on? Oh, there's a guy unresponsive in the snow. In the snow? Yeah, 34 Fairview, yes. Yes, 34 Fairview, Canton, Mass. The Albert's residence. Yes. Well, I just pulled up behind him and found him. 34 Fairview? Yes. 34 Fairview, Canton, Mass. Yes. And then there's a third operator. No wonder why she's getting frustrated with all of this stuff, right? She's had to go through 3 different people to get somebody to go to Canton. Her job was the 911 call. Her job was the 911 call at that moment. Now, the reason why she ended up, when Karen went and got her, she ended up having to railroad Karen back to One Meadows. I mean, if you think about it, if Karen just came back from One Meadows and John is not there, what is the reason? Why is there a priority to go back to One Meadows? There is none whatsoever. But what happened is Jen found out that they just put John outside, not at 2:30 like everybody thought. They put him out after 3:45 near 4 o'clock in the morning. And when she found that out, when she called Julie, and then she called Nicole too, then she goes, holy crap. So when did the 90 minutes start? Now, let's make that calculation. Is 3 Monty here still? So if you start from 3:45, take a pick. Do it from 3:45, from 4 o'clock in the morning. It doesn't matter. Roughly 90 minutes from that time. What time is it? She needed to delay Karen to 5:57, 6 o'clock in the morning to get to 34 Fairview, because that's when she thought dying from hypothermia would have done the trick. It's the same 90 minutes. But do it from 4 o'clock in the morning. From 4 to 5 is 1 hour, right? Oh, I'm sorry. From 90 to an hour and a half. So from 90 minutes to an hour and a half is the time that she arrived there. So if he was placed outside nearly 4 o'clock in the morning, then an hour and a half would have been 5:30. Yes. So Karen goes and picks up Jen, right? And Jen takes her back to Kenton to delay the whole thing. At 3:45, what's his name? Lucky Logren was already going by there. And what he saw was the 4 edge. So if the 4 edge is outside, the last time that Lucky Logren went by, it was blocking the view. So nobody would see that they were dragging John out and dropping him off there. So when Jen calls Julie, when Karen calls Jen, she doesn't tell Jen, come, I'll go over there or whatever. Why is that? The phone, John's phone, is at 12th Country Lane. She can't go there. So she asked Karen to go over there. Now, has anybody thought why Matt didn't go with Jen? Why wouldn't he? Why wouldn't he accompany his wife with to go look for the guy, right? Um and go find John. Well, Matt had another job because Matt had the what do you call it? Clock turquoise white. Is that some serious intent? Yes. So Matt had the phone, and Matt had another job. Everybody in this freaking family had a little role to play. Matt had to figure out what to do with the phone, and what he did was, and Lana proved it. Lana doesn't know how Lang gets the phone, and some people are saying no, Lang didn't have the phone. Well, yes, Lang had the phone. I can assure you that Lang had the phone, because when Lana was able to match that phone was emulating Lang's steps, and at 6:04, exactly 28 seconds after Jen places the 911 call, at 6:04, that's when the phone comes back and is exposed again to the cell phone tower grids. Yes. Yep. Because that was also an alibi. Where are we? I'm reading. Okay, wait. I was over wondering. I was reading this one. Yes, because it's an alibi, right? If Karen goes to find Karen, and Matt does not go with Jen, but Matt supposedly, right? He's got to know that Jen just took off with Karen to go find John. He doesn't know where she's gone. He probably knew that they were going back to. She was going to stall her, and he starts calling to see, like, let me see if I can find him, right? But the thing is, at 5:38 in the morning, the phone was still inside the Faraday bag. It wasn't doing anything. It wasn't exposed to any cell phone towers. So the phone got out of the Faraday bag at 6:04 in the morning. And at that point, at 6:04 in the morning, and everybody's a little confused about this, and I already did the exercise also, and I encourage everybody to do it. So if we are on our phones, right? Let's say I'm looking at my phone right now, and it's telling me how many steps I have so far. So I'm going to lie, because I kind of cheated today. I've been on my behind, sitting down, doing videos. But let's round it up. And let's say that I have done 10,000 steps, which I should be ashamed of myself. But if I'm sitting down at 10,000 steps, and right now, I put my phone on a Faraday bag right now, I put it there, okay? I'm going to take the Faraday bag, and I'm going to go all over the place. And guess what? By 6:00 in the morning, let's say that I walked 1,000 steps plus 1,000 steps. Those 11,000 steps are going to update. When are they going to update? Just give it a shot. Just give it a shot based on logic. If my phone is in a Faraday bag and it's not exposed to cell phone towers, my location is not being disclosed, is totally outside of the grids, right? But it's still registering every single step that I take with that phone. So when I hear people like, okay, so Lang didn't take 400 steps, so let me count the steps that Lang took and Jen took. Sweetheart, this is not about counting somebody else's steps. The phone is with somebody. Somebody has the phone with them at that point. If Lang is handed the phone prior to arriving at 34 Fairview, right, it was already taken out of the Faraday bag at 6:04 in the morning. So by the time that Lang gets it out and he pulls his stunt, oh, hey, and whose phone is that? Is that your phone? Oh, look, I found the phone. Oh, my, is that the subject's phone and whatever? The what? What do you mean the subject? You mean the deceased guy John O'Keefe, the Boston police officer that we just found? The minute the phone comes out of the Faraday bag, it will update whatever steps I took with the phone, or anybody who had the phone moving the Faraday bag or with the phone at the same time. It will update the minute the phone comes back to the grid. So those 432 steps were taken during the 5 hours and 33 minutes that phone stayed at 12 Country Lane. Now, going back to this transcript that I did, The first thing that Jen says is that you have to get out of here. Yeah, well, how old is he? 46-year-old. Oh, how long has he been outside? And the first thing that she says is, well, I don't know. And then she goes, I really don't know. He got out of the car in a couple of hours. I really don't know. But then, if I'm not even sure if he's breathing. That's what she's saying. There are two women and they're working on him and they're hysterical. And can you ask them if he's breathing? Hey, can you guys do CPR? Is he breathing? No, I know. No, he's not breathing. But then later on, when he keeps talking to her, she doesn't tell him a couple of hours. She says that I seriously don't know how long has he been outside. Verbatim. She tells him that. They were out drinking. They went out drinking. And I don't know how long they were, but that was like 4 hours or so. That's what she tells him. And I mean, they've been out drink. I'm talking hours ago. That's what she's saying to him. And it's no, he's dead. No, he's not breathing. And she pretty much like says, there's no need to rush, man. Like, but this is what pisses me off the most. At the end of the day, it was proven in court that hypothermia was not what killed John, right? It would have shown on his pancreas. It would have shown in different ways. There was no frostbite. I mean, heck, the phone wasn't even frozen. The phone was fully operational. It still had battery, man. And he was updating freaking steps. How is it? And then let's not even forget about the battery temperatures, right? So what it comes out to as soon as yes, as soon as it exactly. So yeah, I did a transcript because I was trying to identify it myself. I hate when people tell me something and I'm supposed to believe. I like looking at things myself and just reaching or agreeing with somebody because I also saw it, not because I was told, because that's some of the problems that we're having, right? So yeah, she did whisper because she didn't want the other girls to. Don't forget, in front of Karen and Carrie, Jen's job was to call 911, right? Not only did she call 911, but she didn't want them to listen to what she was saying. And to make it worse, she did it from inside Carrie's car. She got inside Carrie's car while these women are over there. She hasn't even approached John. She doesn't even know what the heck is going on. She shuts the door. Karen's phone is recording every single thing that she said before and after and during because the voice message to John kept going. And she didn't even know that that phone was in the back of the car. But she called Nicole at 6:07 in the morning. And what she said was clearly audible. And you can hear her saying, somebody's coming out to help. That's what she says. Somebody's coming out to help. And that someone that came out to help, that is Michael Lang. Now, I don't know if people know, but Michael Lang graduated with Loki Logren. I don't know if you guys know. And don't forget, nobody got to Loki Logren until a long time after this whole shebang happened. Remember? The investigators, who were the investigators? Yeah. So Lucky Logran and somebody else that I know that is also a content creator and is constantly on X, they all went to Canton High School and they all graduated together. And Lucky Logran, in the beginning of this shebang, it was, I think at some point, Total Boy, I think I heard him say that he was the one who tracked him down and whatever. But they were looking for the plow driver. You would think that if initially their intention was to blame the plow driver, why wouldn't they try to interview the plow driver? Right? Have you seen anything? Did you see anything? You plowed that 34 Fairview like 2 or 3 times. You went up and down around Cedar Crest, dumped the stuff over there, came around and did the loop on the little cul-de-sac there and turned around. Why wouldn't anybody that would be the first person that I would try to talk to, right? Well, he was one of the last ones. And we were lucky. We got lucky, like literally, because he was a savior. even on Sergeant Saraf's camera and Good's camera, if you pay attention, if you focus, like when they're there and they're like, trying to handle the entire scene, you see the plow driver, the Frankenstein, going on Cedar Crest and Fairview and keeps going south on Cedar Crest. Is it south or north? It's south. So, and it's the same thing that everybody keeps saying. It's like every time that I hear somebody talking about the 3-point turn and she floored it and she hit him, it's like, do you people realize that John and Karen were together in the car inside the Lexus at the same time when this 3.4 turn happened? I mean, if they missed the turn on Cedar Crest and 34 Fairview, the only logical thing would be to pull into somebody's driveway or try to loop around or do a 3.4 turn so you can turn around and go back to where you were coming. It's the only logical reason. Now, lately, especially I want to say, let me see, because I have 5 pages of notes that I took from one of Lana's last shows that she did when she new evidence came about and she started like reviewing not only the new stuff that came out but also the stuff that she had before, and she was trying to sort of like match it and figure out where does this fall. And she stumbled into pretty interesting findings, which I'm 2 away, but I already have matched all of her stuff that the stuff that she has discovered so far. Most of her stuff I'm already, par to par with her, like neck and neck on everything that she has recently revealed and discovered as far as like where did John go. Now we are in agreement, and I've always since a long time ago I have been saying John entered that house at 12:21:10. Now, Lana is agreeing with the time, but she's saying that John got out of the car of Karen's car at 12:21 10. She doesn't say that he enters the house um at 12:21:10. I do. I think that he entered. So far, I am that he's entering the house at 12:21:10 because Whiffin was trying to hide it and not focus on the 12:21:10. But I caught him on Hank and I caught him on Cross with Alessi, where he slipped too. And at 12:21:10, he says, but he slipped. He didn't want to say it. He said that he was heading westerly towards 34 Fairview. And he did like an 86 feet straight line towards the house from the road. And that was at 21:10, at 12:21:10. Now, the whole idea between the different prosecutors that have tried this case, I don't know if you remember that on trial 1 they had a theory, right? And on trial 2 they came up with all of their changes, and the judge never told them that, never, like, they didn't have to face any consequences because they changed their narratives a couple of times. But at the same time, both of them, there's a common denominator, and what they were trying to do was push the time further out, right? One big mistake that they did was that text messages are not read at the same time that they are sent. And that was brutal, paired with the fact that Weefing said that there were 12 minutes of inaccuracy. Well, at the time that Weefing wants to say that there are 12 minutes of inaccuracy, he points out that that happens at 12:37 a.m. 12:37 a.m., the battery temperature does not match that phone being, what do you call it? what do you call it? Oh my God. I lost my train of thought. Oh my God. Okay, the 12 minutes of inaccuracy does not happen when a phone is inside the house. I mean, outside the house. Inaccuracy happens because there's bad signal, because you're in a bad area, right? Because you're inside a building, because you can't reach whatever, the signal is weak, or whatever it is. It doesn't happen when the phone is actually outside. Now, if you take the 12 minutes of inaccuracy that whipped cream has tried to push on everybody, and you deduct it from 12:27, from 12:37, what do you get? You get 12:25 in the morning. He says on his testimony that Jones' phone came to a complete stop at 12:24:38. And I heartily believe that that's when he died. That's when he was already he had already fallen on the ground, and he did not move on his own after that. And the time was 12:24:38. Whiffing is such a heartless piece of crap that you hear him explaining how John is like speeding up and trying to go the opposite direction than the one that he took at 12:21:10 when he was going westerly towards the house. He's explaining himself that he's going at so miles per hour, and he's explaining how he's trying like to speed up, maybe get away from Chloe. I don't know. Like, everybody has an imagination. All I could do was imagining that he went into that house, found something that he didn't like, or was about to tell Karen, come back up, and he was ambushed or something happened, right? The dog is falling after him, and he tries to get out the same way he came in, and he's going the opposite direction. And his stupid Ian Whipcream is describing this thing until he says he came to a complete stop at 12:24:38, and he made a mistake when he said that, because he also said the 12 minutes of inaccuracy at 12:37. And if you take the 12 minutes away from the 12:37 and you look at the time that he said that his phone came to a complete stop, it's exactly at 12:24:38, which is the the highest proximity to the 12:25 mark if you deduct the 12 minutes from the 12:37. So I know it's a lot of like calculations and numbers and everything, but this is what I do. This is how I brainstorm like every day. So when Lana comes out, and I adore her, like that kid has a brain that is like enviable. She's brilliant. So Lana, every time that she comes up with something, here I am with homework, and I am auditing all my crap again and trying to go back and see, wait, Oakdale. She says that at 12:21:10, that phone, he got out of the car, and he was at Oakdale. And I'm going, how the heck is he in Oakdale? So how can he take 80 feet walk towards westerly towards the house if he's in Oakdale? I mean, before he gets to Cedar Crest, he has to walk Oakdale. That doesn't make any sense. So yeah, so I have been, yeah, we're back in session. We have been nonstop on I have been nonstop on this thing, because it's like, and I agree with her. The data is the data. I agree with Brennan. The data is the data. Yeah, it keeps me up at night too. And all of these details matters, even the seconds, right? But what's I don't give a lot of importance is to testimony, because anybody can lie. Anybody can lie. Now, I'm not saying that 100% everything they said was a lie, but if you're not able to identify the little nuggets of truth, and you take their word as far as like who got there first, who got there later, and whatever, we're screwed, because they all have a reason to cover for these people. Now, the only person that doesn't have a reason other than loyalty to cover for these people is Brian Higgins. And Caitlin said in testimony, he came in after. And I wanted to ask her, after what? After John died? After what? Because if Higgins' Jeep, as he claims, at one point was parked outside, right? Two people, two things cannot occupy the same space in time. If he was the first one who got to 34 Fairview from the waterfall, which is the only thing that makes sense because he was the first one to leave. Him, Brian, Albert, Nicole, and Caitlin were the first ones to leave, right? And he parked his car, his Jeep, with the plow, which he was not going to park in the driveway because it's a liability for any other car that is nearby. The thing has a plow. It's a 7-inch, 6.8 plow, aftermarket plow. I don't know if people visualize this thing, but you don't want to go like rub around against something, right? So he parked it outside. The butt of the Jeep was by the mailbox and the plow was there. But I can assure you what, Lana is 100% sure, I mean, certain and correct. And I already agree on that too, that the 220 text message that Jen sent to John when she said, here, with exclamation points and question marks, and the 220 26 seconds text that Higgins sent saying, are you coming here? Those two people were not in the same place. Because if they were in the same place and they had been talking to each other, like, like whatever, why would they send, both of them would send a message to the same individual, like 20 seconds away from each other, 26 seconds away from one another? It doesn't make any sense. Now, I can tell you what else doesn't make sense. If Chris was the one who invited John O'Keefe to the waterfall and speared up all this, the whole thing, right? The whole thing. Why didn't Chris text him once? He didn't call him once. He didn't text him once. It's almost like, why? So the same way that it makes sense that Higgins and Jen were in two different locations, and maybe Higgins was moving his Jeep, right? Because Jen had just gotten out of the phone call with John at 12:18:44 seconds. A call that she started, and I agree with Lana 100% on that. She started from inside the Yukon, but she gets out of the car because her watch is going inside 34 Fairview, westerly too, right? But the phone stays on and the call is ongoing inside the damn Yukon. That coupled with the fact that they are celebrating nephew's birthday at midnight. Yep. So she goes inside, the phone keeps going. Who's in the Yukon? So Jenny's no longer talking to what do you call it? Oh my god, help. Jenny's no longer talking to John. The people that are, those are my dogs, I'm sorry. The people that are inside the Yukon are the ones that are talking to John. And the only possible people that are inside that Yukon talking to John O'Keefe coming from the waterfall are who? Matt McCabe and who else? Who else? Can somebody tell me who else? I'm going to show you who else. Give me 1 second. Don't go anywhere. Whiskey. Okay, wait. Let me see if I can. I'm going to bring it up. I'm going to show you something that a lot of people had not seen because this video was sort of like caught and 8 days ago, 7 days ago, and this was about, I think it was 3 days ago. Let me see if it's this one. And I will bring it up right where it shows you who is the other potential person who was inside that Yukon and rode to 34 Fairview with Jen and Matt McCabe. Because they were not alone. They were not alone. It doesn't make any sense that that one particular person that was the person who invited what's his name? John, to the waterfall doesn't even show up in any phone records, doesn't show up anywhere. Texting him, neither did he call him, nothing. Absolutely nothing at all. So why is that? I'll show you why. Now I'm going to show you why. Was this 6 days ago? Let's see. It could have been this one. So let's see if I can. So it looks like, what's his name? Chris Albert, Matt McCabe walked out with Karina Kolakitha's husband, and Jen was already waiting for Matt McCabe inside the Yukon, right? And Matt McCabe comes out. Karina Kolakitha's husband goes to one side. Then he gets in his car and he goes, because him and Karina actually drove in different vehicles. They didn't drive in the same car. So when the other one, what is it? When, oh my God, here we go. When Matt goes to the, what do you call that? Goes to the Yukon, gets inside the Yukon, Jenny's already there, and they start moving, right? And they start taking off. And when they take off, that they're about to leave, Chris Albert is seen walking outside of the waterfall, and he's seen underneath the little canopy, like, like the little white thing that is like a little awning that is outside the waterfall. Well, not only that, he looks to the left, he looks forward, and then he looks to the what do you call it? He looks to the left, and he sees the Yukon passing him. And when he sees the Yukon passing him, he goes towards the Yukon. So I'm going to show you this image, and you tell me, what do you feel? What do you think about this three? A lot of people have missed this, and a lot of people are saying, what do you mean? Well, what do you mean? Well, what do you mean? What do I mean? Those were the last three people who were in the proximity of John O'Keefe, talking to John and discussing God knows what. And as I'm going to show you, it is noticed by other people, not only me, by other people, that John does the heel toe thing, right? And he on a fighting whatever, almost like getting ready to whatever it is that he's doing. And I'm going to show you. But guess who those are? Here we go. Here we go. Right there. Found it. Okay. I'm going to show you right there. And I'm going to pause it. And I'm going to make it large so I can show you. Okay. Are you guys ready? Took me a minute. Thank you for your patience. No, not even calling. I'm going to show you. Hold on. Okay, here we go. These are my peeps. Here's JFK. So let's see.
John's power hand was his left.
That is Chris.
Right? No. Yeah. So he was jabbing with the right. And that, yeah. So yeah, that was his right. Yeah. So he was jabbing with his right, swinging with his, and the haymaker was the left. See with his hands? You see that? Am I tripping?
There.
On the other side,
he switched there.
Am I tripping?
Matt McCabe is no longer in the corner.
And he switched
the bit, and he's holding his hand, and he's holding that left.
Next,
like as to say, I'm a southpaw. I'll knock him the fuck out.
Yeah.
Then he tapped Maddie.
See, that's Matt McCabe, and that's Chris Albert. How do you like this?
So if anything, what we
How do
learned
you
right
like
now so far, ladies and gentlemen, right, that heel toe,
Yep.
the first time was.
Yep. I agree with that. I absolutely agree with that. And the fact that they were there, the fact that that Matt McCabe is no longer at the what do you call it? No longer in the corner, and he moves and he goes on the opposite side of where he was, and he's almost like making a plan, talking to Chris Albert, and John is on the other side. And then you see them walking out. Let me see if I can find the other one. Walking out of the waterfall. And here's Chris Albert looking to the right, looking front. And then you see him on the canopy. The Yukon is about to pass. And waterfall outside video. Almost like he went and he jumped on the and he jumped in the Yukon with Karen and Matt McCabe, which makes sense because, you know, from the waterfall to 34 Fairview, it's barely 4 minutes. That's all it takes. Doesn't take any more than that, 4 or 5 minutes, especially if you know where you're going, right? But let me see if I can. This is a micro dots one. It's not. I'm gonna look for another one. And exterior surveillance footage. Here we go. Okay. So this one is what I'm going to show you. And commercials. Hold on. We're going to go almost towards the end. So the first thing I'm going to show you is, because a lot of people are saying, well, but Higgins didn't drive the Jeep. Well, but Higgins didn't drive the Jeep. Higgins drove his Jeep. The Jeep is right there. So if you don't want to see it, that's a different story. But the Jeep is right there. So if we go to the surveillance video, and before we even start the video, I'm going to show you. Okay, wait. Okay, I'm going to pause it. What is that over there? I'm going to make it bigger. What is that? That's a Wrangler right there. There's a Wrangler right there at 10:45 and 21 seconds. There's a white Wrangler parked right there. Okay. So everybody's going in and out, blah, 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 blah. And then it starts snowing a little. The Wrangler is no longer there. Now there's, wait. Because he's already left, right? It's 12:13. So the only person that is about to leave is, okay, wait. This person leaves, wait. And let's move it. Okay. The lights of the Yukon are over there on the other side of the truck, right there. That's the Yukon. Now look. Because Jen McCabe is still in the car, right? She's already in the car waiting on Matt. Not sure if Matt is already there. But this is the canopy, and this is where Chris is going to show up. Can you guys see? Let me see. Let me flip up. Can you hear it? Let me see. Okay. You guys can see it. Let me go to this one and see. Okay. So there's lights, right? People are leaving. Let me take your thing. And then I'm going to move it. Hide. Okay. I'm going to hide it so you can see it. Okay, here we go. So 12:15. They have already left. Hold on. Okay, wait. 12:14. Okay, almost. And 12:13. Okay, you see that person leaving? Okay, wait. And this is the Yukon over there. Okay, 12:44. Here we go. Here we go. There's Matt McCabe walking right there. You see them? You can hardly see them, but there's the two of them. Collie Keithas and Matt McCabe. Matt McCabe is going over there because that's where the Yukon is. And Collie Keithas is going this way. That's Matt McCabe walking at 12:20. He's walking towards his Yukon. And Jen is inside the Yukon. You see it over there, right there by the dumpster or whatever it is that she's flashing the light so she knows. So he knows. You see? There we go. And he goes to the car. Now it's 12:12. He's going to get on the car and he follow the mouse, my cursor. He's going to go that way and he's going to come here. So you're going to watch. They're coming. And there's somebody else is leaving. Somebody else is leaving. And about a couple of seconds between 12:14, that's when Chris comes out and you're going to see his little head around there. So let's see. And is he coming? Okay. Okay, here comes a Yukon. You see it? It's moving. And you're going to have to be quick and careful because this thing, the owning thing, is like flying all over the place. But you're going to see. Now, pay attention down here because Chris is about to show up right here underneath the canopy. There's a Yukon. See? And Chris comes out. Where's Chris? Wait. There you go. See? Looks over there. Oh, there you guys are. And he goes straight to that side to where the Yukon is leaving. Did you guys catch it or do you want me to put it again? Did you see it? Okay, cool. Okay, perfect. Because I was like, oh my God. So that makes sense. That's why Chris never texted him. That's why Chris never called. He didn't have to. Jen was in the Yukon with Matt. The three of there were, and I'm saying this, right? There's nothing that says that Chris was actually inside the Yukon, but you got to go with logic. If he's coming out, he looks to the left, he looks to the whatever, he knows that Matt left, and he looks to the left and goes that way, guess where I think he's going to go? He's going to go towards where the Yukon is until somebody says that he didn't or proves that he did, which is the same thing that happened with the Faraday bag, by the way. But my point with all of this is that explains why Chris never called him, never texted him. He's the one who, around noon or so earlier that day, invited John to go to the waterfall. And the only thing that John asked was, is Kevin Albert going to be there? That's the only thing he asked. Now, what are the odds? Here's Kevin Albert, Brian Higgins, Chris Albert, and John O'Keefe, right? And who knows who else, right? That we didn't know about. All of these cheap Kenton and Boston police officers and federal agents off on the same day. Now, there's a blizzard the next day, right? But yet, here's Jen up at 3:56 and 44 seconds. She's up. Why is she up? It's Saturday. She doesn't have to go to work. There's a blizzard coming. You were just spend the night drinking and doing shots. You should be dead asleep, like a fish. But she's not. She's up. She's up because she has a job to do. Matt McCabe had a job to do. Okay? Of all of them, Matt McCabe was the one who slept the least because he was maneuvering John's phone the entire time. Don't forget, if John's phone, which means John, came to a complete stop at 12:24:38, who the heck was reading his messages at 12:25 and 40 minutes? Who the heck brought his phone outside for 20 seconds? It took 20 seconds to bring that phone outside at 12:31:56 to 12:32:16. 20 seconds, 36 steps. Phone outside, turned off, on airplane mode. Who took 432 steps with that phone? Where was that phone for 5 hours and 33 minutes? Yes, come to 34 Fairview. But if people didn't know that that's the name of the street, how would they catch that she almost messed up and said her address, her street address instead of Fairview. There's so many things, but for me, that 911 call and the fact that the 227 deletion existed, or there was a record of it, the fact that somebody attempted to delete something, whether it was recorded in Axiom or in Celebrite, or it's no longer there and now it's there, oh no, it's still there. It doesn't matter. If you delete something, or there's an argument about somebody deleting something, it's because it existed previously, like prior to deletion. So she tells you she never searched it at 223. So who did? Did Matt do that? Is that what he did? I mean, the phone was a 12 country lane, right? That's the whole reason why it was inside a Faraday bag. So she went upstairs with her watch, sat on alert for 90 minutes to an hour, to 2 hours, right? What does she say when she calls 911? How long has it been outside? A couple of hours. That was the result of that search. When you go into a trial and you call all these experts and everybody starts talking so pretty and using all of these big words and trying to confuse the heck out of people, the complexity of all of this is what confuses the heck out of people. And, there is an advantage to that because it makes it so difficult for somebody who is just like us, plain Jane Joes, that, just talk to us like normal people. At the end of the day, if they would have explained that for something to be deleted had to previously exist, she would have been looking at doomsday right now. Because how long to be on the call deletion at 227:40 was because it happened. It was searched prior to. If it didn't exist, there was no need to delete nothing. And she says it herself, couple of hours. That's all it took for anybody to die in the cold outside at the temperature that 129.22 was in Canton, Massachusetts. So things are simpler than they seem to be. For some reason, we have to go into all these explanations and go into rattles and try to talk like crazy people to try to explain a lot of things. And, I can't, to focus, I need to be totally at peace because my dogs distract me, right? A knock on the door, the phone is ringing. There's a lot of distractions. In order for you to concentrate and be able to have a clear mind and have an audit or analyze something with some sort of tranquility, and it takes a lot. So imagine some people, right, trying to use all these weird words. That's why La Posada was so successful. Well, it doesn't matter because he didn't die from a car accident. Period. You don't have to say, the front lobes and the front, just he got punched here and there and whatever. Say it. That's what it is. How do you expect? Okay, it's almost like when you're listening to a song. If the first 2 seconds of the songs don't catch up with you, forget it. You're gonna change it, right? Which a lot of people probably do that with me. They hear me ranting and them going, "Oh my God, he goes this woman again. We're gonna have to listen to Sofia Vergara for 2 hours. No. I'm gonna go listen to somebody else," and that's fine. But it's not what the book looks like. It's what the book contains, right? I mean, it's the essence of it. It's not everything that shines is gold. And sometimes people tend to say so many things and try to, go back to what was said 2 years ago. And it's confusing. There is a beginning and an end to this thing. And it starts at the waterfall and it ends with the death of John O'Keefe. Thank you, Honeybee. I'm gonna sign off for now. I was supposed to do 2 videos today, but I wanted to do the CPD video because somebody asked me to do it. I hope she sees it. But I wake up at 4:30 in the morning. I have to join my prayer group and pray for all of us because, that's my fuel. That's how I keep going. But I will see you all later. I hope everybody has a great night. Thank you for making me company and coming over and winking at me. And I'll probably see you guys soon. All right. Bye. Have a good night. Don't be strangers. Don't forget to like. Everybody says, don't forget to like. Bye, you guys.